Hi, welcome to It's Fate, a fantasy novel recap podcast where two friends dive in to discuss your favorite fantasy reads. I'm Katie.
And I'm Morgan, and today we are covering Powerful, the novella by Lauren Roberts from the Powerless trilogy.
Yeah. How are you doing, Morgan?
I'm hanging in there, excited to drink our caffeinated beverages.
Me too. I need it. Morgan got us. We're wearing brown today.
Yes.
For honey buns. So she got us some cold brews.
Yes, my is not as cute. Like yours matches the outfit.
It does match.
But I do drink my coffee black, so.
That is a skill.
Everyone, whenever I drink iced coffee, people think it's like soda.
Oh, yeah.
Or something.
I could see that.
And it's like 7 a.m., which I know some people drink soda super early. Not me. And I'm like, no, it's just coffee. And they're like, what? What do you mean? What is that? I'm like, it's coffee. Like this is how coffee was made to be consumed.
Oh, wow.
Before we added milk. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like that's like, it's just coffee. It's just coffee. Plain coffee. Yeah. It would be like looking at cheese pizza and being like, what is that? Yeah. What do you mean cheese pizza?
A lot of people just can't do the black.
I know.
It's so bitter.
Not if you make it right.
Some people can't taste bitter, which was something I just learned. Oh. Someone told me that. So I don't know if that's right. I just believe this person.
I wonder if that's me.
Mm-hmm.
You know this, my dad has 3 daughters, and I'm the oldest, no sons, and me being his firstborn, he really didn't care whether I was a girl or a boy. It was just like, you're watching horror movies with me and playing sports and all the things, which was great. And so I definitely like had a tendency towards those things. I always wanted to be like my dad, and he still drinks coffee black. And so I remember seeing him do it and being like, well, me too. That's what I'm going to do.
So you forced yourself?
That's just how I started drinking it.
That's crazy.
It was black. And then when I got pregnant, black coffee made me want to vomit. So I started drinking the sweetest things ever. I spent so much money at Starbucks during my first trimester because almost every day I would get something sweet and then a breakfast sandwich because they were so good.
That sounds yummy.
So good. And then once I was able to drink black coffee again, it's still how I prefer it, but every now and then I'm like, ooh, I'll get like a brown shaken espresso or something, half sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The more I drink coffee, the darker I like it. But
so
I also like sweet coffee too. But I can't have it as much.
It hurts my stomach.
Yeah, and I can't drink it all.
Yeah, is that sweet?
No, this is good.
Okay.
I like it.
I don't know if it has sugar in it, but
it's silky and smooth. Coffee drink with milk.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm going to taste mine. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, it's coffee in a can.
I know.
So I don't expect it to be like amazing, but it's good.
You don't really drink beer, huh?
Not really.
I was going to ask. I feel like I can tell when a beer is like the difference between beer in a can and beer in a bottle.
It's like soda. Like
it's much better in a bottle.
Coke in a bottle versus Coke in a soda.
Yeah, it's so much better in a bottle.
It's so much better in a bottle.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Man. Weird. No idea. Coffee is the same. But what do you get from Starbucks?
I don't really go to Starbucks a lot. I love chai.
Oh, that's right.
So I love when they have like chai lattes. I'll get chai. I've been liking matcha.
Matcha.
I like lattes.
Yeah.
If I go somewhere, I usually get a latte.
Yeah.
But
it's always fun.
What do you get? Just black all the time?
I usually get an Americano, either iced or hot.
Okay. Which is just black coffee?
It's hot water with a shot of espresso over it, or iced water with a shot of espresso over it. I feel like I'm such a coffee weirdo, like coffee nerd, that's how I can tell what kind of like the quality of the coffee shop is by drinking an Americano.
Used to be a barista though. So
I did.
I feel like
at like a local coffee shop that was very into coffee. So yeah.
So now you're a coffee snob.
I am a coffee snob, but not in a mean way.
And Adena is a honey bun snob.
Or a sticky bun or whatever. Sticky bun, which there's honey in them.
Yeah. First impressions. Oh, big spoiler warning. Obviously, we're talking about Powerful. So if you haven't read Powerless or Powerful, don't listen until you have, unless you don't care, unless you want it all spoiled.
Unless we're reading for you.
Yeah.
Like we read so that you don't have to.
Your sister, you should tell your sister who read Powerless and skipped Powerful to just listen to this.
Oh my gosh, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's wild. She read Powerless and Reckless, whatever the next one is. Ruthless?
Ruthless.
In like a day. Both of them.
Wow, she's a fast reader.
So fast. She read all of ACOTAR and all of Throne of Glass within 3 months.
I feel like because I am a fast reader, there's so much that goes on that I'm like, oh, I could probably reread that book.
Yeah.
Just so that way I can get more detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm a super fast reader. But have you heard that some people like read it back to them in their heads and they hear a voice saying it to them and some people don't?
No.
You should try next time. And I have realized that it's not always my own voice. Like I started reading The Red Pony by John Steinbeck, which I texted you about, and I'm already having regrets 'cause it's just too real. And I don't know where these people, I think they're in Salinas, California, because that's where he grew up. But they all are cowboys in my mind. And that's how I'm reading the book. It's the voice I hear in my head is a boy with a twang.
A lot going on.
So I think that's why, not that I'm necessarily a slow reader.
Yeah.
But I've timed myself. It is like, how many pages can I read in 30 minutes? I probably read about a minute a page.
Okay.
Like 25 to 30
normal.
pages a minute. 25 to 30 pages in 30 minutes.
I feel like that's normal.
Depending on how dense it is.
I know nothing about reading rates, but to me and my expertise.
Enough about me. What were your first impressions of this book?
I didn't really want to read it at first.
Me neither.
Because I was like, it's just a novella. But again, I love the dedication.
I actually didn't read this one because I don't know if it was on sometimes with the ebooks.
Yeah.
Because I read it on my phone book app.
I see.
For some reason, I could not get it onto the Kindle. It wasn't working. It wasn't
That's
like transferring. So,
Well, this one says, to the girls with softer dreams, your purpose is just as powerful.
that's really cute.
I know, especially matching that with the other one where it's like to all the girls who felt powerless.
Yes.
And this one also has all the gifts listed out in the front.
I didn't get to see that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Show me. Okay.
It has
This makes sense.
recorded elites and like all their abilities, and then how many known are there in the kingdom. So obviously there's like one known mind reader, one known silencer.
Because they're in the possession of the king.
Yeah.
The mundanes, the defensive, and the offensive. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm going to buy this eventually.
Yeah. Speaking of this, though, when it was at the very beginning of the book, it was on page 4. It was when Adena was recounting the first time that she tried to steal a little sticky bun. And she said that the Imperial was slow, basically. And she said, well, he's definitely not a Flash. That's for certain.
Okay.
Flash is not listed on this abilities. Look.
Okay, Flash is also in Powerless.
Yeah, it's not on the recorded
You're
elite
right.
abilities.
Interesting.
I feel like that's a mistake.
I think it is too. I don't think it's intentional or anything.
I don't think so either. I mean, if it is,
We'll find
I
out
caught it.
eventually. I know. Katie remembered. Katie predicted something. Yeah, I just didn't really. At first, I was like, I don't really care. Even just like about Adena in general.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. How did you like Adena's personality and her optimism?
I grew to like her. I feel like in real life, a lot of people would gravitate towards her, but as a reader, it just wasn't as like gripping right away.
I agree. Sometimes I felt like her character was a little two-dimensional for me. I know we find out more about her mother, but I wish we did get a little bit more of her backstory to help just flesh out her character.
Yeah, I agree. And when I think about people in life who are overly optimistic, they honestly really annoy me.
I know what you mean.
And it's not like anything against them. It's just I like to be I feel like it's fake. It comes off as very fake. And that's not true. Like, she's not fake. But when I meet people in real life, I'm like, have you ever felt sad? Like, can we have a real conversation? Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah. And maybe sometimes I know I've met people where they're so optimistic where I feel like my feelings are being validated because they're always looking on the bright side.
Like toxic positivity? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm like, I just want to be validated a little bit.
And then we can work on being more positive. Yeah. But like, be sad with me for a second.
How did you like Mikado?
Again, I was just kind of like, you're so grumpy. Mm-hmm. Here I just like the extremes for either. I'm like,
it was a little extreme.
Come on. But I also grew to like him. I grew to be like, okay, yeah, I get it. I feel like they had a really good dynamic. I feel like this was the first 100% grumpy and 100% sunshine that I've read. Mm-hmm. Like, truly. Because I've read other grumpy sunshines, but like, he was like very grumpy and she was very sunshine.
Yes, and he had like no one, which I mean, usually the grumpies don't, but like he only had his cousin. Yeah. Hera. And then he really was just a huge grump. Mm-hmm. And she was just so optimistic.
Yeah. Just like life is sunshine and rainbows.
Even when she really, lived in the slums.
Like, I love my trash bed.
She's like, this is home. And he's like, honey, you live.
Literally, honey. That's what he calls her.
She's like, honey, hun, you live in trash.
Yeah. And she's like,
it's a gift.
I guess that is a really good quality when life is like that. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, we talked about this in the last episode because Kai calls Peyton darling. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Mac calling Adena hun?
I felt like hun, he said a lot.
It was bugging me.
A lot.
It really bugged me.
I didn't love it. I wouldn't have minded it if it was maybe a little bit less. But especially because she always eats the honey. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Cute.
It was cute once he said why he calls her that. I feel like I liked the hun when it was like in a bantery sort of like, okay, hun, like kind of in a demeaning way. Like, that's when I didn't mind it. Oh. I know it sounds weird, but in like a sarcastic, I don't know if demeaning's the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But when it was like
banter, it was more banter.
Yes, when it was serious and he's like, hun, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I just know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He used it a little too frequently.
Maybe it was too much.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Okay. Anything you loved about this book?
Literally every note that you made was the same thing. So I love the forced proximity.
Yes, I did like that.
I like forced proximity.
Me too.
Give me one room, one bed. Give me one horse to share, one dragon, whatever.
One dragon. That makes me think of the post you made for us that was about what trope for your birth month.
Yeah.
And I'm December, and it was a marriage of political convenience. And I was like, I don't think I've actually read one of those, but I think I would really like it.
I think I would really like it,
if it was
too.
Like a hot romance and they fell in love.
Did you ever read Red, White, and Royal Blue?
No. Wait, I thought that was...
It was
I listened to a podcast about the book. But they weren't forced into marriage. Okay, that's what I was going to say.
But it's still a cute, like...
royal.
Yeah. Kind of dynamic, political arrangement.
I remember when we were talking about starting this podcast, I was like, okay, I got to do some research. And so I listened to one, and that was the episode I listened to. And I was like, I don't even have to read the book. It was great.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
It's cute.
I know it's popular, too. This is classic. What I love was when Mac showed up and punched the guy in the face to save her from the jerk who was cornering her when she was doing her stitching on the corner of the whatever alley.
Yeah.
She's like trying to sell her clothes. Mm-hmm. And then that guy confronts her and he's just there and totally...
He just shows up.
Yeah. And saves her.
I loved it.
It was so hot.
It was very hot.
I loved it.
I love that he made her punch him.
I know. And he's just... This is the part that I liked about his grumpiness, is that he's just like so lax and chill and is just like, don't touch her.
It's scary vibes.
It's scary good. Scary vibes.
You're like, what?
But we like it.
Yeah, like, what could you do?
Yeah.
A lot.
Don't touch her. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah.
There was a sweet moment. Did I say this as my quote of the book?
I did, and I felt the same way. It was
I'm going to read it later. We'll talk about it later then.
Yeah.
And you can read it since I stole your quote last episode. I also liked, so at the end, Adena dies, which was such a shock to me. Like, I truly did not think she was going to die.
Me
I did
either.
not foresee that at all.
Yeah.
In Powerless, when Peyton describes Adena dying, and then Mac doing it in Powerful, both of them wish it were them instead of Adena, because they just say, like, she's too bright to leave this world, and like their world will just be dark without her. And I just thought that was really sweet. And you mentioned it in the last book. I feel like we didn't get a lot of Adena and Peyton's dynamic, but even like you said, Adena still came off kind of two-dimensional. But then when she was dying, hearing the two people closest to her talk about what she meant to them, it just kind of tied everything with a bow a little bit.
It did. I did feel closer to her, knowing how Pei and Mac felt about her. I think what would have helped me feel more connected to her as a character is if we got like how and why she was always so positive.
Yeah.
Because that was the part where I was like, well, why? How can she be so positive when she like lives in poverty and like she's
I feel like she
hungry.
said something when she was talking about her mom.
But it was just like a snippet. I wanted a little bit more, which
Something
I think is
deeper.
hard to do for a novella.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Into things we didn't love.
We did not love the sticky bun.
I hate sticky.
Do you like sticky buns in real life?
I don't think I've ever had a sticky bun.
When they say a sticky bun, I imagine it like a bear claw, kind of, but with like stickier maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, like stickier.
Well, I like
but
a bear claw. I just honey being everywhere.
Do you like to eat honey?
Yeah, I don't mind it when it's like mixed with stuff. We eat a lot of honey in my house because it's just a natural sweetener.
Yeah. Especially
with my son. I don't try not to give him too much sugar. Unless we're at a coffee shop, then I buy him a cake pop. But I have like this basket in next to my stove in a shelf, like by my spices, and it has, you know, my oil in it, my honey, red wine vinegar, like all those kinds of things that I might need to whip out really quick that I don't want to keep in the pantry. And honey leaked.
Yeah. And
it's like still sticky where that cabinet, like I cannot get it out.
Yeah.
And then when he says on page 67, after she left to the palace, he says, I stride slowly around the room, surveying every surface she left in shambles. A thin coating of honey sticks to the corner of my work table, marking her usual spot. That's disgusting. That's so gross.
Just having honey everywhere. I felt like her whole personality was just revolved around like sticky buns and sewing. Like that was just who she was.
She just
she was sticky. Her hands were always like sticky.
But then she's making clothes. But she's sticky all the time. No wonder she's not making any money. I'm like, honey, come on.
Honey. I love that Mac didn't like that shirt, that blue shirt.
And told her.
And then she was kind of like, shoot, you were right. It would have looked better red, but.
Yeah. And then he says it's because it would have complimented something about her better. Like the red would have looked better on her.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also, novellas just are like hard for me to like. And I did appreciate that this was a part of a greater story. Because at the beginning of the year, I read a couple novellas that were truly just like standalone novellas. And they just felt so rushed. And you don't get to know the characters. And there's no depth.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard to do with a fantasy romance novel to do a novella. And it wasn't until I finished the book that I was like, oh, I liked it. But like the whole way through, I was just kind of like, okay, can we, like, I'm just not getting a lot out of this. Not that it was bad.
Yeah. I feel the same way about it. I felt like it wasn't until, like, Mac showed up being like...
Yeah.
Or when she came running back to him and he was like, went out to go beat the guys up. That was like, okay, I'm starting to get more interested in this.
And once she started visiting him more and they would have their nights at the fort, I was like, okay, we're actually getting to know them. But it was hard to take breaks from Powerless. Mm-hmm. Be like, wait, no, I want to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And I just don't care about this as much. Mm-hmm. I didn't read the dedication until now. But why do you think this was called Powerful? Do you think it was because of what she said in the dedication?
I do think it is. Adena definitely didn't know how powerful she was, I think, impacting Peyton and Mac's lives. Mm-hmm. I do think that Mac is going to play a bigger role. So I wonder, and he's very powerful, we know. So I wonder if it was also a play on... him being really powerful and getting set up for another plot line.
Yeah. I hope he's in it somehow.
Me too.
I hope he somehow connects with Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so when Adena meets Mac, it's because Mac wants her to make him look like an Imperial so he can sneak into the castle and save Hera, his cousin. What are your thoughts about him, like, making this whole plan and then going into the castle and Adena, who he's known for like 2 weeks, being like, you have me. You don't need her. Basically, that's what she says. It's like, it's not worth it for you to die. And then he's just like, you're right. What do you think about that?
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how his cousin would feel about him trying to go protect her. Like, I don't know what conversation they've had to make him feel like he needed to go save her. But he kind of was just like, oops, oh well, like I had my chance to save her and I didn't save her, so
then she dies.
And then she dies.
And I felt like it was kind of brushed over.
Even in the book, he was like, oh, well, like this really important person died in my family, the only family I talked to, and then...
who has saved me and protected me my whole life, and she's dead and I cried once and now it's time to move on. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because I have Adena.
I felt like that part wasn't as fleshed out. Like it was a little convenient for him to have something that like Adena could play a role in, and then he's like, well,
abandoning it
never mind
for whatever reason. Yeah.
I have my honey sticky bun.
I know. I feel like it would have been better if he hadn't abandoned the plan and somehow Hera died before he could go through with his plan.
Oh, I would like that better.
Yeah. And then he's like, darn, I wasn't like grieving that he wasn't fast enough and also grieving her death, but it wasn't like
kind of his fault. Yeah. Not his fault.
No, but I know what you're trying to say of just, I don't know. He felt very inconsistent in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good observation there. Inconsistent character.
Yeah.
Right there.
Like he was like, I will die for her. And then he's just like, never mind.
I have the honey.
I have honey buns. Wait, let's go get some honey buns. Do you know what that's from?
Oh my God. What is that from? It's like itching my...
It's Mushu from Mulan.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I hear it. How do you think Peyton will feel when she finds out that Adena hid her relationship about Matt? Not hid purposefully, but just like didn't tell her, left it out.
Oh, I don't know. I think she will feel guilty. I think she will feel like I didn't, like first I forgot about her and then I bring her in, but really like, did they even really talk about anything other than what Peyton was dealing with? How often, we didn't, even when Adena was in the castle, there weren't a ton of scenes between Adena and Peyton. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. But
I think so too.
I feel like it's purposeful. I feel like somehow, because Mac knows about Peyton, but Peyton doesn't know about Mac. Mm-hmm. So just wonder how that's all going to play in.
And I feel like if I was Peyton, I would be skeptical about this man. I've never heard of my best friend. He's now claiming that he was in love with my best friend, but I've never heard of you before.
Yeah. How is he going to prove it? He's going to have to prove it somehow.
He's going to be like, look, all the honey left in my house.
Or his vest, maybe, his black vest.
I wonder if Peyton will hide with him there.
Ooh, do you think Oh, because he's done a good job hiding for a long time.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the vest, because didn't
vest.
she make him like the same vest?
A similar vest.
Yeah.
And she like wrote on it.
Yeah.
Embroidered it like she did. Peyton's.
Yes. See you in the sky.
Yeah.
That should have been a clue for us that she was going to die.
I know.
Did you pick up on it?
No.
Me neither.
I didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
No. How did you like the tandem read? Because we tandem read Powerless and Powerful together.
I 100% recommend it because
Okay.
I think a lot of people probably skip Powerful.
Really? Because I get it. Powerless leaves on a cliffhanger, and now that the second book is out,
Yeah.
you just want to know what happens.
I really do feel like it would have made Powerless a lot longer, but this could have just been absorbed
I think so too.
into Powerless, and you just have more perspectives. And it would have been fine. Like this is helpful. It really is, but you just don't realize it until you're later in the book.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it was a part of that, then you would naturally be like, this is important because it's in this book.
I think so too, and I think it could be one.
I'm saying this. I'm pointing to
Yeah.
Powerful. Powerful is important. You just don't realize it.
You just don't realize it. It gives good clues, and I do think that Mac, again, is going to have a bigger role. So
I
you
hope
would
so.
be able to find out more about him in this one.
Yeah, so he's not just some random
Guy.
Yeah. Okay, any predictions that came true for you?
No, because I wasn't thinking about it.
See, I'm always thinking about it, and I think that's why I eventually I'll get them.
Yeah.
But I did have a thought, which this came true, when Adena told Mac that she was going to be going to the castle. And he's like, no, you're supposed to come with me for our plan. And she's like, well, you can just phase through the walls yourself. And it seemed like he started to panic. I was like, oh my gosh, what if he's a wielder like Kai? And then he is, which is a huge, like, crazy. He has to be important because of that fact alone.
Yeah. He could be the only person that could take down Kai.
Ooh.
Because they both have the same ability. And we know that Mac is trained in weaponry and like fighting and stuff. So
Interesting.
could be his match. Could be his match.
I know. And we already talked about that. We didn't really see her death coming, and I'm still kind of in shock.
I'm kind of in shock too, and I'm kind of sad. I was just kind of really falling in love with her character.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, I love you.
It's like Nehemia.
Yeah. Where I was like, okay, now I'm really seeing how much you like glue the main character together and how important you are. And then you ripped from me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very tragic. Like I don't know. I like feel so sad for her. Like she's thrown in the dungeon. Fingers are broken, her sewing fingers. And both Peyton and Mac were like, her sewing fingers.
The fingers really, really was sad.
Yes. I feel like that was extra sad. And she's just like, she wakes up in the pit. And from her perspective, she's like, what am I doing here? Like, is it like a test for Peyton to find me and like rescue me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the same age as Peyton or similar age.
I think they're similar age. Okay. Yeah. I feel like she's at least 18.
I think so too. Yeah. Crying Corner.
Crying Corner. 2 cries again for me.
Again, and this one's a shorter book. Much shorter than last time.
Yes. It's because we got Adena's death both from her perspective and from Mac's perspective. So my first cry was when Adena was dying and she talked about wanting to be remembered by her vests. And I was like, that's kind of cheesy, but it also really made me emotional. Like she was just like, wait, where are my vests? Like, please wear my vests. And she was counting the stars, which kind of relates to that moment she had with Mac where she, they talked about being among the stars someday. And then my second cry was seeing Adena's death through Mac's eyes and knowing that now he's truly alone.
I loved the little ending where it was saying that she does watch Peyton and Mac from the stars.
And she's like, the sun. Like, he even said he looked up and he's like, of course you would choose the brightest star, as if she chose to be the sun.
Yeah.
I know. It was so cute.
It was super cute.
So it was, it got me. Of course it did.
Predictions for Ruthless, which we said we've read the first 3 chapters.
Yeah, but I don't feel like anything major has happened.
No.
You think Mac will be in the next books?
Yeah.
So do I.
Do you want to know my silly? You know how I like to
yeah.
be silly and shit people?
Yeah.
I want Mac and Kai to kiss.
What about Mac and Kit?
Ooh.
Because Kai is Peyton, all Peyton.
I know, but they're such a good little match together.
They're just like, oh, my fellow
wielder.
wielder.
My evenly matched man.
I could see Kit being with a man.
Me too.
100%.
I think Mac would be a good, because he like loves Kai. Why couldn't he love Mac?
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Mac's even grumpier.
Yeah, he might like that.
But he's from the slums, and maybe he would tell it to him straight, kind of like Peyton does.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It could be like the best of both worlds. He gets a little bit of his brother and a little bit of his brother's lover.
Which he likes Peyton.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He gets the two people that he loves in
Mixed
one.
into one. A very strong, hot man.
Yeah.
Does Kit like honey? We don't know.
Yeah, they like sticky buns.
They do like sticky buns.
Gail makes them sticky buns.
That's our crazy ship.
I'm here for it.
Mac and Kit.
And they're going to save the world. We need a little ding, 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 ding.
A smooching.
A
smooching
button. Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. Okay. Ratings. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was sweet, but tragic. The ending bumped me to 3 stars. It's hard because when I'm ranking it, it's not like the writing's bad. Like, it's good. It just didn't hook me. It didn't keep me super interested until the end. And so it's definitely a good book. But unless Mac is in the rest of the story, it didn't really serve a ton of a purpose.
Yeah. I gave it 3.5.
Okay.
I really liked it. I really like Grumpy Sunshine trope. Okay. Do you like it?
I don't dislike it, but it's not like a fave. I feel like I've only read a couple Grumpy Sunshines that I've liked. I did like this one. The other one that I really liked is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Have you read that?
No.
It's good.
I've seen it.
Yeah. It's super good.
There's so many books that I just get overwhelmed.
But I think it's the like full send on both sides.
Yeah.
That is what kind of was not as riveting for me. Like, I love, it's like, he's grumpy, but
he's not grumpy for her.
Well, and he wasn't grumpy for her either. Mac wasn't grumpy for Adena, which is so cute. But there's like, it's more of like a brooding grumpy. Mac just seemed like really just bitter. I don't know. It came off as that way to me.
Yeah.
And then the Sunshine is more just like, yeah, life can be really hard and I'm going through this hard time, but there's so much more, blah, 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 where Adena's just like, sticky buns. Hee hee hee. Everything's happy. Nothing's sad ever.
Less developed.
Yeah, less developed.
I know what you mean.
That's a much better way of saying it than my drawn out.
I know what you mean. I do think they were a little bit less developed characters. Yeah. I am hoping that Mac will have that bigger story because I feel like if he didn't, this would be kind of a little bit.
Right?
Not like useless because I do think it helps you connect with Adena more.
It does. And it gives you more empathy for Peyton. Yeah. Because now she's lost her dad. She's lost Adena.
Yeah. But it is a little bit less developed, less enticing to read.
Yeah.
Quote of the book.
Quote of the book. Would you like to read it?
I will like to read it. It's on page 99, and this is from Mac's perspective. This is both mine and your
It was so
favorite.
Sweet. Okay. Do you want to read the quote of the book since we agreed on it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's from Mac's perspective.
Uh-huh.
I've always wondered how something could shine so bright, even while being swallowed in darkness. My eyes run over the shadowed outline of her face. I've been trying to figure that out myself. I hope they know how admired they are up there, she murmurs. I mean, I count them before bed every night. I shake my head at the sight of her admiring something far duller than she.
So sweet.
Yeah, and this is referencing, he's comparing Adena to like a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of how Kai compared Peyton to a sunset and was like, it dulls in comparison to her.
And she is like a sunset, you know? She's like, Adena's all like sunshine and smiles. And Peyton's a little, fiery.
And there's like a darkness coming.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So this was just really sweet, and it really connected. I feel like it was something in this moment. I was like, okay, I like their relationship, and it was sweet that then when Adena was dying, she was counting the stars like she does every night, and she had embroidered on Mac's vest, "See you in the stars," or like "Until we're in the stars," something like that.
Yeah.
So
Very sweet.
so tragic.
Yeah. Okay, I looked up some theories.
Okay, I'm excited.
And I want you to just like rank them of like if you like them, if you could see this happening.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this because I don't want to read. I don't want to.
So I'm actually glad that you started Ruthless because some of these theories do tie into that bonus chapter. But if you didn't read it, and if you don't mind being spoiled,
I'm gonna look.
Yeah.
At what?
It's the first 3, I believe.
Okay, so it's not a bonus chapter. It's just the first 3. Okay. Yep, I read them.
Yeah. So if you haven't, and if you don't mind being spoiled, I'm going to give like a little summary. So Kai visits a tree with a sticky bun celebrating someone named A. And it seems like it's like their birthday, and it appears that they're dead.
Yes.
Right? Kai then almost catches Pei in her childhood home, and he sets it on fire. And she finds her father's journal.
Yes.
And that's like all we kind of know.
Okay.
So one of the theories is that Kai has a dead sister called A that he may have been indirectly responsible for murdering, kind of similar to Pei and Adena.
Ooh. Okay, so in the beginning of Ruthless, there is a family tree.
Oh.
And so it is his sister.
Oh, okay.
We get her full name. I don't remember what it is. And so we do get the king and queen's name as well. I just can't remember what it was. But so it is his sister. But I think that would be really interesting if he kind of had an indirect way, like maybe when he was learning to control his power, something happened.
And maybe can give further insight onto why he is so, like, I have to be the enforcer. Maybe there's some, like, emotional manipulation there from his king basically being like, see, we need to help you in some way control the power, whatever. Or maybe an ordinary killed her.
Or she died from the plague.
That's
Even
true.
though they say the plague hasn't been around in 3 decades. She could be. She probably died as a child. That's more likely. But I don't know. Maybe somehow it was associated with an ordinary, like you said.
Yeah. Okay, another one is that Kit has always been a little evil. Why would he go after a woman that his brother clearly has feelings for, which I know we talked about in the last episode, but we kind of just see...
go after in terms of romantically.
We can just see how Kit has always been maybe a little selfish. Yeah.
I feel like that would be interesting. I wouldn't be mad about that.
Me either. I think that'd be an interesting twist.
Yeah, that he's like kind of been playing everybody all along.
Yeah, for being a naive boy, as Peyton always called them.
Yeah, and I wonder what if he was actually, because we find out at the end of Powerless that the king knew all along who Peyton was, and he knew who her father was and all of that. Like, what if Kit actually knew too and was in cahoots with his dad's plan?
Do you think when he put her name down, like, did he know her name, or did he just see her and know
king?
Her? Yeah.
No, I think he chose her name.
Yeah.
I think that he realized it was her who saved Kai and was like, it's time to do something about her.
Because he knew she would be a threat, maybe. That's
and now
good.
she's like well known and talked about. Yeah. And maybe he realized, oh, she's still alive, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one. Pei is actually royalty from another kingdom and was adopted by her father in some way.
Okay, I do think she's some sort of royal. I shared in the last episode like a crazy kind of unhinged theory that maybe her and Kit have the same mom somehow, and that she's like Kit's half-sister. Because of her being called princess with a capital P. Like, that's what stuck in my brain. Because that is a title, whereas, like, the nickname princess is with a lowercase p.
Yeah, and it just gives maybe insight, like why would she be
So important.
so, like why would she either be adopted or taken from the royal family? There's so many questions there.
No. And what's in her father's journal? What do we...
I'm excited to look through his
Me
journal.
too. There's going to be secrets revealed for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How do you think Peyton would handle if she found out that her dad was actually like an adoptive dad and not her dad?
I think she would be fine. I think she would be sad that she wasn't told.
Yeah.
But I do think she is mature enough to recognize that her dad probably would have told her when she was a little older, but he didn't get the chance.
I think what's hard is she clearly loves her dad, but we might find out some secrets. And we know that he does have some secrets, so maybe she'll start feeling a little bit betrayed, a little bit like, hey, I didn't even know this, my own father.
That's true. Maybe she'll start questioning some things.
Yeah. I don't know. So you're liking those theories?
I do. I like all of them, actually.
Yeah, there was nothing like unhinged, I found.
Yeah. We just made the best one.
I know, we did.
Mac and Kit. Perfect.
Speaking of Mac and Kit, let's play some MFK.
Okay, I love MFK.
So, Kai, Kit, Mac.
Okay. I'm thinking about Kit before the possibility of him being evil.
Yeah. I know, it's a hard one.
It is. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, I'm killing Mac.
Yeah.
I just am. He's too grumpy for me. I need a little sunshine. I think I'm going to marry Kai because I love the idea that I could, like, change him from being a monster.
Yeah.
And then I'll F Kit.
Okay.
What about you?
Nice. F the brother.
F the brother.
Well,
I wouldn't tell Kai, though.
Yeah.
That would be a secret I'd take to my grave.
That's good.
Oh, dang it. Do I need to kill Kit so that Kai doesn't leave me?
No, it's okay.
Okay. This is fictional.
It's fictional. I would also kill Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would marry Kit.
Okay.
And then I would F Kai.
So that works out.
Another MFK.
Okay.
Blair, Ace,
Ooh.
Sadie, which is from Powerless, I know, but it's fine. I try to do like the villains.
I think I'm going to kill Blair.
Oh, okay.
I don't trust her enough to bring her in my bedroom.
Okay. I could see that. Okay.
I'll F Ace and marry Sadie.
Okay.
I feel like Sadie, we didn't get to explore her as much. And the initial interaction between her, Blair, Kit, and Kai gave me the vibe that she was like, just kind of chill, like not evil like Blair, but didn't really care about the royalty. I feel like she could be an amicable spouse.
Yeah. I'm also marrying Sadie.
Okay.
I think I'm effing Blair and killing Ace.
Okay.
Ace's power really freaks me out.
It is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be the good thing in the bedroom, though.
Oh, what are your illusions gonna be?
I don't know.
This is why we're 18 and older.
Yeah,
on
this
our
is
little
why.
YouTube restriction. Oh my
Even
goodness.
it affects her views. That's okay.
Whatever.
Okay. A little would you rather.
I love it.
Would you rather be called Darling or Hun?
I feel like Hun,
Okay.
but at the frequency that Kai used Darling.
I like these stipulations.
Yeah, that's not very specific. What about
I
you?
would rather be called Hun as well over Darling. Darling reminds me of just like old. I don't know. I don't like it very much.
It worked because I was
whatever.
thinking about it and I was like, oh, I don't like that. But then I thought about Reese calling Farrah Darling and it didn't bother me then. But I feel like it was because it was like came to be like a part of her name. He didn't overuse it. It was like
special.
It was special, but to just be like
darling.
And Hun can feel more bantery to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like that. You like the banter.
I love the banter.
Yeah.
I like to think that I'm them. I have such great banter. I'm so witty.
You'd be great on like Love Island. All the banter.
The banter.
Banter.
We have great banter.
We actually get some views from the UK.
Oh my
Saw that,
gosh.
so I'm sorry if that was a horrible impression.
It probably was, but we love your Love Island. It's the only good one.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, I did like the Australia one.
Nor. Have you
No.
seen that TikTok where someone's like, how do Australians, they probably can't say R&R because it sounds like or like R&R. And then an Australian stitched it and was like, no, I can do this. He goes, R&R. He's like, R&R. Oh no, R&R. Like
I love
freaks
it.
out. It's funny.
It is funny.
All right, do you have one more for us?
Yes.
I'm so good at these.
Which magical worlds that we've read so far would you rather live in? So we have Prithian, Navarre, or Ilya. Do you say it like that?
Ilya.
Ilya? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard one to say. Ilya. Ooh, not Navarre.
No.
That would be never. No, thank you.
Okay.
It's hard too because I'm like Prithian if I lived in Valaris or maybe the Summer Court.
Yeah.
With my boy Tarquin.
Yeah.
Ilya seems the most tame if I was an elite, but that's the thing. I feel like Prithian, even though there's like a big divide between Lesser Fae and High Fae, it doesn't seem like as wide of a gap as in Ilya. I feel like I would stand a better chance no matter what my rank was in Prithian.
Yeah, I like how you're assuming that you'd be Fae in Prithian.
Yeah, maybe I'd be a monster.
Maybe you'll be a human.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Whatever. A measly human.
No, you'd be Fae.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could be Lesser Fae. I could be a monster. I could be the surreal.
You could be.
Be just lonely.
You would need to be something more social. Like a wraith. With your sisters, there's 3 of you.
Stealing jewels.
Stealing jewels.
Being naked, gluttonous fools.
That sounds like you guys.
We're just always naked, eating, never leaving the couch.
Jewels.
Wearing my jewels. All dripping in jewels.
Dripping in jewels.
Oh my gosh. But I think Prithian. What about you?
I think Prithian or Ilya. I feel like I would just leave Ilya, and then I say
That's
that, but
true.
you can't leave it because you can die.
You pointed out though on the map you can go through the Whispering Woods. Granted, there's like
monsters and stuff.
Yeah, or creatures. I think we only saw wolves.
But if you're an elite, then just use your. Oh, but why do I?
Why would you leave if you were an elite though?
Because I don't agree with the freaking genocide of the ordinary.
But would you be aware of it?
I hope
we
so.
like to think that we would be.
I like to think I'd be a wonderful
We would
human.
be so aware. We would be a part of the resistance, even as elites. We'd be yes, absolutely. Those are so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are going to be reading
Reckless next week. So read along with us and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at It's Fate Podcast. Subscribe on Apple and Spotify, and we're also on YouTube.
Thanks.
Bye.